right, hello. How's everybody tonight? Gonna try something a little bit different today, so let's see how it goes. Oh, let me get this turned off. Right. Got myself a little... I love labels. This is great. Instead of coffee today. Even better, clean tiki mug, because there's like no clean glasses at the moment. All right, so I have had this situation in one of my classes where one kid drew like a monster. It's like a version of something he says he saw in a dream, and he's like, "Ooh, I want you to make it look real." And I'm like, this appeals to the creep in me, but I don't want to freak out a kid. But after hemming and hawing about it a bit, I did end up doing it, just making sure it wasn't too nothing inappropriate or anything like that. The kid got very excited about it and loved it, and now everybody in the class is like, "Ooh, you do my picture," which I think is adorable. So being that it's all of 8 students, I don't mind doing one for each of them if they want me to. And today I got this guy, which is a ghost Pokemon, which is something I know nothing about, like, at all. But we're gonna give it a try. And this, I'm going for a drawing. I actually have some charcoal and a lumber crayon, because why not? So I'm gonna have some fun playing around with my trusty kneaded eraser. And I love kneaded erasers. I don't know if anybody else is up on these things, but I have the same kneaded erasers that I had since I was let's just say that some of my kneaded erasers are 20 years old, and they're still kicking. They last forever. Just gotta knead them once in a while. So yeah, we're gonna play around with this and see what comes of it. And I will be the first to admit, doing characters and cutesy things, not my first route to go. But we can always have some fun with trying some things. So, a creature. Start with a sketch. I assume the big pointy things are ears, and that maybe there's some hair going on there, some pointy bits, perhaps. He's got the angry cartoon eyes. And arms that come out of his forehead, apparently. That's a thing, but hey, I didn't create him. I'm just drawing him. So not my fault. How many fingers and toes do ghost Pokemon have? I don't know. I really don't. I'm giving him 3. That seems appropriate for a cartoon that's a circle with a face, yeah? Perhaps? I don't know, do they have knees? Maybe? Do they have ankles? a giant grin, apparently. A little evil looking. Lots of teeth. They're not pointy teeth, so they're not nearly as like typical monstery. Though, I mean, when it comes to Pokemon, I don't know if there's like good or bad characters. I know so little about this. I think I was just maybe born a little later than to be the generation that knows as much about these characters. I don't know. I don't know. Doesn't look very ghost-like. I'm gonna have to fork this out, figure out what. I don't have the most detailed example to go off of, and I don't know if there is any more detail to this thing than what I've got. I have the smile going over his shoulder. That's probably not quite right. All right, adjust his face a little bit. Maybe he has like a unibrow, just foreshadowing like overbearing brow. He's very concerned and about things, so maybe that can work. I don't know. Do you think I'm getting close? Do they have noses? I just don't know. Oh, let's see. Not quite, not quite, not quite. That's maybe a little bit better. I think his eyes do need to be low. Maybe like even that low. All right. Perhaps one eye is a little bit more open than the other. That looks maybe. nice wide stance, like he's being aggressive. All right, now we can start maybe, I think that's about the shape I want, like, good width for him, so get some little extra details in his shape, kind of refine him a little bit, like maybe there's actually some kind of musculature or structure under there, like ankles and knees, thighs. But no torso, because, well, poor guy. He must have no gut. Maybe a bit of a lip. Maybe some gum line. Make it look weird and, well, weird. Look at my gums, I'm angry. Or evil or mean, I don't know. I know nothing about these characters, but we're going with it. Maybe there's like suggestion of a bit of a cheek here. A little bit of a chin. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Can make him muscular a little bit. I don't know about like full on eyebrows, but definitely some like furrowed brow. I don't know how this qualifies as a ghost, but this is what I was told it is. I suppose in cartoon universes, ghosts can be whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's getting silly and I kind of love it. Now the spiky ears and hair. Let's see, what can we do here? So did anybody watch the Super Bowl this weekend, or the commercials, or any halftime show, or the sports balls, or anything? I did see it. It seemed like it was a good game as far as these things go. The ads were kind of blah. I remember none of them. I've been torturing myself a little bit because I'm trying to like do a better job of reading books, and so I have a bunch that are half, like I started them, I'm a quarter to halfway through, and then I've picked up something else or forgotten about them. So the book that I've decided that I want to power through is it's not going well for me. I don't think it's a book like, okay, Big Magic. I've talked about it before on the stream. I hear so many people recommending it. I got this book used, so Better World Books or Abe Bookstore. Those are good online used bookstores. But it's like about creative living beyond something. There's a sticker over the part of the title. But I don't think it was written for me. I don't know. Everything about it just rubs me a little bit wrong. And I'm not even quite halfway. I'm close to halfway. I think I'm still going to try to finish it. But it's like there's the floofy woo-woo stuff about like ideas being things that exist in the world, and they visit you, and if you don't take them, they'll move on to somebody else, and like that kind of thing just doesn't sit right with me. I'm not a floofy world person. And then now the part I'm on is all going into deep on and on and on about like giving yourself permission to be creative in like a get in touch with your ancestors kind of a way. It's killing me a little bit, but I'm still trying to finish this darn book. It's kind of like some silly teeth that just don't fit right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I kind of appreciate the sentiment if that is what people are hoping to get out of the book. I'm very kind of pragmatic person. I'm also very cynical. I think I'd rather have somebody like kicking me in the butt about it more so than I don't know. Curious what other people think about it. It's recommended on all kinds of places. He looks so mean and goofy. There's another book that I'd started reading that is also about like the creative practice. And I started another book that I started and didn't get all that far in. It's like more along the lines of, if you wanted to make this a practice, if you want this to be what you're doing, like get rid of the excuses, make the place to do it, make the time to do it. It's more like that. And that I can, like, that's the more like butt kicking kind of get real stuff that I need. So I should probably go back and just I'll just read that book, but I want to finish some things. I don't want to have everything being half done and not finished. All right. So I still have the crazy idea of like going in and like giving this a nice rendering. So what the heck? Let's get at it. Okay. And before I really get into it, yeah, my good old towel at the rescue at the ready. I even have some paper towels by me this time, just because this can get very messy. I haven't used this stuff in a long time. I hope it's, oh yeah, it's still good. These might be a little bit more of like these are more of a conte crayon than a charcoal. It's been a long time since I've worked with any of this stuff. I'm pretty sure I've had this set here. I think it was a part of my college foundations kit of art supplies. So yeah, it's been around a while. I haven't used it in a long time. So I'm just gonna feel this guy out. Go back in probably with some details with my erasing and maybe some finer. I think I have some conte crayon pencils that I can get a real nice sharp edge with. Kind of surprised, I mean, maybe not, but that Pokemon is still such a popular thing, as it has been for quite a while, right? I think they've been around for since what, late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. And people still seem to love this stuff, kids and probably even like the younger adults who grew up with them. I know nostalgia is a powerful thing. I definitely need to get back to doing more regular drawing just for the sake of drawing. Get so caught up in like everything has to be a project with something important at the end. And I try to keep the idea of play alive and well in my work. But also just, you know, like in the sense of the skill. Doing regular different types of drawings and sketches and whatever. Having been an illustration major, the skill was much like more secondary to the idea. Everything was all about coming up with ideas. And that was the priority. That was the most important element of anything. So much of the the bulk of the skill learning that I've done has really been like a kind of independent learning, self-taught kind of thing. All right. Oh, getting something going on here. So besides attempting to read books that I don't gel with and watching biggest sports ridiculousness in the US, I have watched a few more movies recently, and I love film. So, let me think. What was good? I watched The Censor, which is kind of interesting because it's about, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the video nasties, which was a thing in the 80s. Let me try to remember things. In the UK, kind of like all the scares. I mean, where, you know, music's gonna turn, rock and roll's gonna turn people into Satanists kind of scares, and Marilyn Manson causes school shooters, and video games make people violent. It was that kind of thing. Like, horror movies were bad, needed to be controlled, banned. So the main character is a censor, like one of the censors for the video nasties in the UK. And you find out that she has some trauma from her childhood about a missing sister that gets kind of brought up again by her parents. She doesn't remember what happened, but internalized that it's her fault. And it gets brought up. So that, like, re-triggering the trauma in her, and then she sees these videos that she's screening, these movies that are also having the same kind of triggering effect of this, like, maybe memory that it's bringing up, or maybe it's just something that she's, like, internalizing as that. But anyway, yeah, it's sort of like her losing grip as she tries to pursue this thing where she's just, like, not quite in charge of her faculties. It just kind of devolves over the course of the film and goes in some interesting and unexpected places, kind of, which was okay. I didn't hate it. It was fine. Didn't love it. Then, what else was there? Run, Sweetheart, Run. I enjoyed that a lot. I don't think it's a particularly highly rated film, but I very much enjoyed it. This girl is an assistant at a law office for an attorney, and she's also putting herself through school to become an attorney as well. And her boss manages to set her up with a client on like a business dinner, which sort of becomes a date that goes very badly. And she gets attacked, and then she's trying to get home or away, and everything goes wrong, and something's chasing her, and it just gets weirder and more horrible as she tries to survive the night. And it gets a little crazy, like there's some like loose biblical stuff. It's very like anti-patriarchal in the end. So I enjoyed it. It was fun. The message wasn't too ham-fisted, I don't think. So I'd recommend that one, I believe. Ooh, Violent Night. A little late on the Christmas movie thing. But I enjoyed that movie way more than I should have. Oh my goodness, that was fun. Ridiculous, over the top violence, but so much of it is Christmas themed in just in the most ridiculous ways. Enjoy David Harbour, and it was so insane and violent, and yet it had heart. So it'd be a movie that I'd put up there as far as a holiday horror movie with like Krampus, I suppose. I really like Krampus, and I'd say it's in like the same kind of vein as that, a little more heart. But yeah, I really liked that. I found myself giggling a lot during that movie. I think the worst thing probably that I saw of anything was an early 2000s movie called The House of Nine, and it has Dennis Hopper in it, so you'd think it can't be too bad, right? It's pretty bad. Not good. 9 people wake up in a random house. They don't know why, how they got there. A voice tells them that whoever survives wins $5 million. So the intention being that to win, they're supposed to kill each other to survive, and just like it's been done a lot, and it's never that great. Has nothing to say about anything, and it's not even like a fun time, so I would not recommend that one. Yeah, I think he's looking alright. Ridiculous, and I love that. I love ridiculous things that are weird. How could you not? So I don't know where any of you are from, but here, the Chicagoland area, it is unseasonably pleasant out for being, is it the 13th of February? 50s, sunny. I mean, not at the moment. It's nighttime now, pretty much. It's dark, of course, at 7 p.m., but mild days. Nearly all the snow is gone. And I can't complain about any of that, although, you know, that it just kind of isn't right. I do look forward to getting outside a little bit more. I always really like to go on, well, I used to like to go on jogging, going for runs, which is still weird to hear myself say. But yeah, I got to enjoy doing that quite a bit before like the pandemic shut down. Right about that time, I did something to my hip, and I haven't run since then, but I still like to get outside for walks. And I'm trying to do things that are good for my body, which is always, you know, that like mental argument you have to have with yourself every day to be like, let's try to take care of ourselves and not be horrible to our bodies today, okay, Lynell? But yeah, I've started, as long as I'm indoors all the time for winter, even though, well, it's milder now, but we're trying to do some yoga, because that's very doable inside the house with a video or whatever. There's a lot of resources on YouTube for that sort of thing, which is nice. So yeah, it's like the kind of thing that always feels good after you do it, but like getting yourself to do it regularly, it's always a battle. So it's Monday night, right? Starting the week again. I did see a non-horror movie. I guess like a kind of a crime thriller, Suspect Zero, that had Sir Ben Kingsley And it, when was that? Was that 90s? I can't remember if that was 90s or 2000s, or early 2000s. But again, it was okay. It was using psychics involved with crime stuff, like very X-Files-esque, kinda. But like FBI trying to catch a serial killer with red herrings and stuff. It was okay. I'll of course tell you guys when I get really excited about things. The closest thing to that was Run Sweetheart Run, which of course has like a built-in reference to the film Run Lola Run in the name. And I will admittedly, it's been a very long time since I saw that movie now, but that has the concept of like redoing a day to try to get a different outcome. And that was not the situation in this one. So, not sure if there was any deliberate tie-in at all. Who's out there that can tell me if this is even remotely close to what the character would be? I mean, obviously I'm not trying to make it look like the Pokemon version of the drawing, but just in general. Like I said, I'm working off of straight off of this drawing. I got a little not straight. That's fine. That can always be fixed. Get to the hair. What I assume is hair. I have a lot of gunk on this board that is affecting some of my lines. Probably should replace it with something and take better care of it to protect my work surface. So I'm kind of thinking that he should have some, like, if he's a ghost, maybe like a glowy halo, maybe? So maybe I'll do some background shadow and let that build up. let's start building that in. See, there I am picking up some texture on my board again. We'll see how well this blends when we're done, and maybe I can smooth it out. And perhaps after this, I'm gonna have to get some actual charcoal, because I have charcoal pencils, but I didn't find any like pieces of charcoal like this in my collection of stuff. I may have had it at some point in time. Well, I'm sure I did. I don't know if I just ever used it up in figure drawing classes from ages ago, or I got rid of it at some point in time, lost it at some point in time. Any of that is entirely possible. See what that does. A little bit of blending. So I've got a little white conte crayon here, letting that do some blending in my background. Using a couple of edges there, just a little bit. Okay. My hands are cramping from holding it down pretty hard. Let's see if we can do some blending here. Just using a wad of paper towel. This is working pretty well, I would say. Just trying to be careful not to blend anything I don't want to blend. Definitely gonna need to clean my desktop after this. Which I'm sure will be thrilled for, because that's not something that happens very often around here. Pick it up. I don't usually like break out the pledge, you know. The last time I might do is try to see if I can pick up and get some highlights back in a couple of spots. Trusty points that I can make on my kneaded eraser. Well, maybe that's that. Is that good? Does that look all right to anybody? What do you think? Still not really sure about the whole he's a ghost thing, but I don't actually know like what qualities make him, like physically attributes give him ghost-like qualities. So, well, we might just have to call it good enough. Alright, let me see. I mentioned that I think I have some Conte crayons. Let me see if I can find them. Or pencils. I have What's this? Maybe charcoal, charcoal, charcoal. It's all charcoal. I love this one. Pastel. Charcoal. Charcoal. Just the brown one. That doesn't help. Oh, I can still probably make that. One of these is a little harder than the others. I got an HB. And there was a pencil sharpener in the vicinity somewhere. That's probably what I knocked down on the floor earlier today without realizing it. Ah, there's one. There. Uno momento while I sharpen my pencil. Okay. Give him some crazy eye veins. Like, you know, his eyes are bulging out of his head. Too much? No. I'm probably having way too much fun with this. Okay. I did have another request to do a drawing of somebody's drawing to do, yeah. And it is SpongeBob characters. Please draw realistic, and I love that. 3 characters, I don't know. I will maybe address this group of characters in next Monday's stream, perhaps. We can do some SpongeBob weirdos and render them up a little bit realistically, maybe. So maybe that will be like a Monday thing, at least for a time being. Kids are crazy. See that? That's a knife in his hand, pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, here we go. Crazy looking ghost Pokemon. Let's give him some more definition in those fingertips, maybe. See, I said I was like pretty much done, and now I'm still doing stuff. That's me in a nutshell. Is there not a story, maybe this wasn't even true, about Picasso like trying to work on one of his pictures that was already in a museum, and, like getting kicked out of the museum while the piece was hanging up there. I remember hearing that story. I don't know if it really is true or just something that somebody told as an interesting anecdotal thing. I could look it up, but it didn't occur to me until just now. But just in the sense that comes to mind as like, you know, having a hard time letting go and deciding something's finished. That can definitely be a thing. Like the painting that I was working on for last several streams. I think that I am going to call it finished as it was, I'm pretty sure, but I haven't made the official call. If I change anything on it, I will show everybody here so you can see what goes on. But since I worked on everything else on it on stream live, so yeah, that's where I am with that for whatever it's worth. And I often do that, like I'll finish something and then like sit on it for a really long time. Oh, hello. Let me see on my chat here. I'm sorry I didn't see. Can I? The answer to that question is what the fuck? No. My pronouns are she, her. And no. Those are some interesting questions. Okay. So, all right. I think we're going to call it today. We've been at this for an hour. I will probably give this a little spray with some fixative because it is very messy. But I will do that outside and not in the studio. It is wintertime, even though it is kind of unseasonably warm outside. It is still, like, I don't have all the windows open at this time of night for spraying anything. So I am going to maybe do that in the morning and have this ready to give to my original contributor. Okay. I'm sorry, Luca, but just if I knew how, I would just be banning you right now. That's disgusting. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and I hope you will come join me on Thursday morning for a stream. I'm going to go back to working on some of my own artwork, doing some painting or something. I'm not sure exactly what it'll be. I do have a few things in process. So I have some options, or I can start something new again, but it will be hopefully fun and interesting, and there will be a whole lot of coffee involved for sure. So have a great night, everybody. Have a good Tuesday tomorrow. Sleep well, and, do creative things. Have fun. Bye.